big serve and a big return. She makes her first strike in every point of a match. I think Graf's one flaw is something that's coming up here. She tends to get impatient. And she does that sometimes. Sometimes she just doesn't wait long enough to close the trap door.
Game point.
She tries to hit winners sometimes, you know, when the rally isn't ready for them.
40-15, still game point for Seles. The thing about Graf that I think is surprising her today is that, of course, she hits the ball hard. She's not used to seeing those come back. When Seles gets to them, not only does she get them back, but she gets them back flat and hard. If you saw the match that she played with Chris Evert, she hit a lot of lobs from the baseline, and it frustrated Chris.
Nothing lobby looking about that backhand.
See, that I think is her real weapon, that backhand. Watch this again here. It's a very interesting shot. Now, she can hit that from almost anywhere. And when you say she has two hands, she lacks some reach, it is made up by this fact. She can hit the ball A hard, B flat, and C as early as she hits it. D, she can angle it.
Anytime you see Jan Tiriac watching women's tennis, you have to take notice. The reason is because I've watched him at Jennifer Capriati matches as well. She, by the way, is on. She's won a couple of matches now in the junior French Open. Also a very young player who's caught Tiriac's eye. He's got an eye for talent. Look at that. How often do you see Graf in that sort of position? That's what she normally does to other people. Hits cold winners. There she just got her back. Very high percentage for Monica. She knows she's got to maintain a high first serve. She says against Graf, she said, I'm not going to win any points off my serve. She can win points off hers. She must maintain a high first serve.
Well, she didn't win the point, but she certainly let Steffi know that she can drop shot and lob as well. That adds a little different dimension to the arsenal that Graf is looking at. This is 30-all at 2-4 in the first set. And now game point for a 5-2 lead.
She has terrific concept. She reminds me so much of Steffi. She sees the opening in a point.
Called wide.
Mademoiselle Seles.
Break point for Seles to get the break back here in the first set.
What a chance. She went for it.
Unbelievable return, and Monica Seles has broken back. We're on serve in the first set. Steffi Graf, the holder of the French Open title, is ahead by 4-3. We'll be back.
Shameless.
This is Steffi Graf playing against Monica Seles in the semifinals of the women's singles here at Roland Garros, the French Open Tennis Championships from Paris. 4-3. Graf leads it, but Seles is serving first set.
15-0.
Her father was a triple jump champion, and he has helped her get and stay in shape. He's a cartoonist.
Steffi's father, Peter, is still over in Germany. He has not come over because he had the flu all last week and didn't want to bring it over to Steffi. She lost a match to Hanna Mandlikova and the flu back in '86 in the quarterfinals.
It was so bad that she nearly didn't play Wimbledon that year, remember?
I do remember that. Of course, Hanna Mandlikova had a lot to do with it, but the fact is that Graf was up 6-2, 5-4 match point. Ended up losing that match 6-1 in the third. That's the last time she ever lost here. A couple of weeks ago in Berlin, Graf also had the flu and had a very tough first-round match against Tina Schuur-Larsen. That's the closest anyone had come to her. 6-4, 7-5 that first-round match. She did end up winning Berlin. But when she's under the weather, she's beatable. Pam Shriver proved that at the Virginia Slims Championships in November. She beat Graf.
Yeah, that winner gives Graf a break point here to go up 5-3, and if she converts here, she'll serve the first set. Big point for Seles. It is long. Graf has broken, and she will serve for it. It is so interesting for me to watch this, Mary, because she plays so much like an Andre Agassi or a Jim Courier and Jan Goran Ivanisevic of Yugoslavia, for example. They just never back up. If you watch her, she stalks the baseline and very seldom plays from behind it. Not so Graf. She was a couple of feet behind at that point, but she was also on the defense.
Look at that. Nearly 80% of her points are won when her first serve goes in. Her second percentage high, too. Not a lot of back down to Graf either.
No. You wonder what's going through her mind, don't you? Because here's a kid that she knows that she's going to have to play with against for a long time. And you know she's thinking, she's tough.
She's not used to that pace, shot for shot.
Well, that's the point. She hits it flat, and she hits it hard. And Steffi hasn't seen that before. Because you made the point in that little piece that you did before the match started. She is unique in women's tennis.
she does something that, as you mentioned, Courier, Agassi, now Seles do the same thing, something Nick Bollettieri preaches so much. Take the ball early. Stay close to the court. Don't give away a lot of territory.
Serving for the first set, Steffi Graf.
Jeu et première manche. Mademoiselle Graf. 6 jeux à 3.
The champion and holder has won the first set of this best-of-3 set women's singles semi-final here at the French Open. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Her percentage of Steffi Graf, she normally comes in at about 55. That just reflects her respect for the Seles return of serve. Seles feels the same way, obviously, about Graf. They're both trying to get a lot of first serves in because they both are so good at attacking serve, especially the second. The rest of the numbers show just how close this really is. And Steffi's not leading by much on winners or errors. Those are close. Not too much between them. But Graf has the break.
She has the first set, 6 games to 3. Seles will serve first game, second set.
Deuxième manche, service, Mademoiselle Seles.
Little Monica Seles has covered a lot of ground today so far, more I'm sure than she's used to, but you could say the same for Graf. Play against any of those flat ball hitters like Jimmy Connors, and when it's over, you know it. You know all about it.
Casa.
I mean, you know you've been out there and had a rough day at the office, as the fiery one would say.
Our friend from Canale 5, Italy, Rino Tomasi, says he figures Graf will win this one because he doesn't think that Seles, who is still so young and kind of spindly, can last 2 hours against Steffi Graf. A long, tough match. He figures she's going to run out of gas. But remember, too, Graf has been under the weather. She said she came into this tournament feeling 100%. She said, I was in perfect condition. Now I'm not.
Je, Mademoiselle Seles.
But it may be good enough. She has won the first set against Monica Seles. We're on serve here in the second. 1 game to love with the Yugoslavian. We'll be back. Steffi Graf will serve her first serve game of the second set. She trails Monica Seles 1 game to love, but she won the first set.
Wait, please.
She's letting Steffi know she's going to go after those serves. that changeup didn't work too well for Seles.
40-15.
Not nearly enough length. Graf stepped right in.
Game point. Yeah, if you hit that the lob from the baseline play, you better hit it long to Steffi or you'll be in trouble.
Jeu, Mademoiselle Graf. Un jeu partout.
Forehand with the both feet off the ground. Really an astonishing shot. The big windmill forehand. It's very unlike Seles. Ted Tinling of the Virginia Slims is very happy to watch Monica Seles play. He's ready for the demise of the big windmill topspin forehand. He doesn't think it's good for women's tennis. He says all the great champions of years past used a much different style.
He's going to have to wait a while, I'm afraid. There is so much a residue of that windmill forehand that Bjorn Borg probably made the most popular. It's so much a part of the men's tour, isn't it?
Seles' take back, even though it's two-handed, is so much simpler. Again, pays the price, Seles does, for a weak serve.
Steffi, of course, is used to taking advantage of somebody else's second serve. She is not used to having her own punished like Seles has done a couple of times today.
15-30.
Got a lot of lung in that serve. She plays noisy matches.
On the grunt index, as you said, she's right up there in the top 5 ever.
She says she was taught to expel air at the moment of impact. I don't know if Graf minds the noise. Surely some players will start minding it, especially because Seles will be so successful as she's grunting her way by so many of these players.
On serve in the second set. She won the first. Well, there's a new way of getting around here. Thank you, Barry. 2-1 here in the second set.
Reprise.
See Steffi Graf coming underneath that backhand. She can equally well go over the backhand when she needs to make a passing shot. It's part of the great variety in her game. She, as you can see, has had 16 forehand winners and a set in a few games. That's not bad.
She's also making errors, though. Again, she does want to end points early. And against someone like Seles, that could be trouble.
that drop shot low to the forehand side of Seles, something, Mary, that you said in the first set might work.
It's worked just there again as well. She drew a defensive reply from Seles. Just powdered it cross court.
Oh, yeah.
She's not used to somebody who
No.
hits as hard as she does.
Exactly. And Seles has 2 break points. That two-handed swing down the line, clean winner. Graf, as you could see, nowhere near the ball. And as quick as she is, tells you something about how hard and well directed that shot was. 2 break points. You know, Steffi Graf normally on the backhand side hits a lot of slice anyway. Seems to me that she feels like she wants to hit as much slice as she can against Seles to keep the ball as low as she can. Another break point.
Too short.
Yeah. She's going to the sideline. I wonder if she's going to change rackets here. Looks like she might have broken a string.
That last play again, I think you could be right, Cliff. It looks as though she is changing rackets. That last big forehand might have might have popped a string.
Well, I had the feeling as she was playing that point that for the first time she was tired because she was just trying to get the ball back, but that might have been because she'd broken a string. This is deuce.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Seles.
What is so nice, I think, as you're going to see the 3rd break point of this game for women's tennis, is the fact that Seles is so interesting to watch play. Kind of like Andre Agassi.
What a jump. That's good fighting.
Arms go up together, don't they? And then you see the ball is a lot higher than the toss, and she swings into it. Is actually off the ground when she makes contact with that. The best serve in women's tennis, according to Mary Carrillo, and you might disagree with that. It's true. 2 games all.
It just got broken. Not an easy thing.
15-0.
Another error.
They have traded breaks of serve here in the 2nd set.
You'd have to think that last game would have tired Seles. She did an awful lot of running, awful lot of hard hitting, too. So she wants to try to take her time in this game if she can. Doesn't want to get broken right back.
like an Agassi and a Courier and players of that style, she doesn't waste too much time. The points don't last very long.
45.
You hit the ball that hard. In fact, that's true of both of them, and the point's going to be over one way or the other pretty quickly. Game point for Seles.
Another broken string.
Yeah.
43.
It's interesting that she can stay in the points that long with a broken string, because as we said a few times here during the French Championships, if you slice the ball, because she doesn't have a slice really, so she doesn't have much alternative. You're watching it again here. These hit with a broken string. You can see the strings broken in that racket. And you just lose control completely of the ball. It will fly on you, as you know, if you ever tried to play with a broken string. And finally loses the point. Still game point. Seles is ahead in the second set, 3 games to 2. We're on serve. Graf won the first 6-3. We'll be back. Monica Seles is ahead 3 games to 2. Before I lose that thought, I do want to tell you that as far as the strings are concerned, when you break a string in these rackets, the ball will fly on you. In a moment, I'll finish the court. That is wide. I wonder how many of you have played with those old small-headed rackets. Everybody used to use gut. You could break a string then and you could get away with it for up to a game, but not anymore. Not with these modern rackets. Strings are farther apart, much.
Time's up.
15 all.